Hey, it's Damon Williams. I'm joining Kandid Kisses TV. I'm rocking with Michelle C. And you can find me, as you can see, at Damon Williams Comedy. That's on all my social media. DamonWilliamsComedy.com is my site. And I'm in your city, most likely. So I'll see you when I look at you.
Kandid Kisses TV, Connie podcast, yeah, we up in the mix. Hosted by Michelle C, Aquarius sister, everybody picks. Still love all trades, comedy, hustle, and a biz. Not your typical interview, yeah, we do it like this. Entertainment game, entrepreneur styles. Hilarious statements that'll knock you clean off. Tap in, twin, don't play, you know the vibe. Like, share, follow, hit subscribe. Kandid Kisses TV comedy card. Everybody podcast, where comedy meets hustle.
What up, what up, what up, Kiss fam? It is your girl, Michelle C., the Jill of all trades, back with another one. But you know what I got to do each and every time about the same time? I got to threaten you a little bit. You know how we get down. Subscribe now. I'm going to call you mama. Act like she don't raise you right. And I'm so serious about these subscriptions, I'm going to let my Aquarius sisters let you know how I really feel about it.
I don't want to fuck nobody up. No, 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 no. I don't want to fuck nobody up. I don't want to fuck nobody up. But I will. If I have to.
And that's on Big Baby Jesus. So now that the church announcements is over, I got to go ahead and hit you with the dopest one in the game. First of all, I got to get the proper introduction. I took time to write this, so we're going to get all this. All right, y'all. We got another real one in the building today. I'm talking about a seasoned comedian, a true vet in the game who's been putting in work and making people laugh for decades. You've seen him on Def Comedy Jam, Comic View, Showtime at the Apollo, all Shaq All-Stars Comedy Jam, hailing straight out of Chicago. He brings the smooth grown man energy that hits every time. So get ready to laugh and learn. Welcome the one and only Damon Williams. Pew, 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 pew.
Yes, he is I and I am him.
What's going on?
Everything's good. Luckily, sitting around doing nothing on a Monday at the house. Well, I don't know when this go out, but anyway, I'm chilling. So I was glad to be able to have time to do this.
Okay, well, let's get it. We're going to get in your business just a little smidge, okay?
All right.
So the first question I like to ask everybody is, when did you know that you wanted to get in the entertainment industry?
I didn't really want to get in entertainment, to be honest. I before I started doing stand-up, though, I did think I could be a rapper. And so I actually cut a demo with 5 songs. I have a record label of my own I did back in the late 80s, early 90s or whatever. And so that's around the time. But I started doing stand-up in 92. But that came to me after watching Eddie Murphy's Delirious and always liking comedy, as a kid.
Okay. So, I got to ask, where did Gucci D come from? Like, I got questions.
Let's rewind. Gucci D, first of all, was my rap name, but it was also my street name because I had a Porsche, and since my name was Damon, and I wore all type of Gucci stuff back in the day, authentic Gucci stuff, watches, sweaters, the shoes, the loafers. People just started calling me Gucci. So in order to put that on my plates, it was Gucci D, and then it just stuck. And then when I decided to try the hip hop game, I said, well, why not go with what people were calling me in the neighborhood? So I went with Gucci D.
So to be clear, you was the original Gucci.
Gucci Mane before Mane, dude.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. So okay, before we skip past that, I saw you. You did your you put it on Instagram. Dust was supposed to be clearing. I just want to know what dust was clearing.
Say what dust? Now see, so don't bite the dust, but meant don't get your ass killed. Yeah, it was like it was a message song, and it was like I forgot. I don't even know the lyrics right now because we just found the demo and that came out back in the day. But it was like, when you leave the club, somebody might shoot you because you're out here in these streets doing this, and that, and the other. So don't bite the dust. But it also came from sampling Queen's "Another One Bites the Dust" song.
Gotcha.
So there's tie-ins, a double entendre type of thing.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So back into this comedy bag. When you hit the first stage, what was it like? Who put you on there, or did anybody put you on there? Did you say I'm already in the entertainment industry, rapping, so let me try this comedy?
No, I wasn't in the entertainment industry when I started comedy. I had given up already on the rap game. Well, not really. It was kind of simultaneous, but really and truly, yeah, I was done with that because that was like I went on stage '92. The first time I went on ever trying to do stand up, I snuck off to a little spot called the Close Up Piano Bar because I heard they did it on a Tuesday. Because all jokes aside, the real comedy club that I heard about was on a Wednesday. So I said, let me go here and try to do a sample on this Tuesday. But fortunately, on that spot, I ran into George Wilborn, who I'd never met before. And he was the house MC at All Jokes Aside, but he was also my cousin. And I didn't know him. Yeah, but we had never met growing up. But my pops had told me he had a nephew that was doing comedy somewhere. But, we never even tried to connect those dots because it didn't matter because I wasn't into comedy. So he took me and walked me through the door at All Jokes Aside, got me past the list and got me on. Adele Givens was the host who gave me my first mic. She was the host at All Jokes Aside.
Okay. Now, did you have an idea of what you wanted to do already? Or are you just, I'm going to go up there and freestyle it?
No, that's why I went to Tuesday to figure out, I tried some, I had elementary jokes like how come when you vacuum and you see something on the floor, you pick it up, look at it, throw it back down and try to let the vacuum cleaner get it instead of throwing it away. Right. I did have one joke that I was real proud of how it hit because right in the middle of my set at All Jokes Aside, it occurred to me that my jokes were working. Okay. So at some point, I'm like, man, you motherfuckers laughing, right? And I said that on it because I taped it and I was going around showing everybody. And I ended up taking it to my mother, who's super saved. And that's when I realized I couldn't curse as much as I was cussing more than I realized. So the joke was, just back when being an independent woman was a real big thing, have my own house, my own car, your own hair, your own nails. And, and I had finally find me an independent woman. And it was all good until William showed up. And by William, I mean Bill. And by Bill, I mean Bill's like a motherfucker. And when I said that, the whole club went up. And I'm like, okay, I got this. And I never looked back from that day. And I remember the song I came up to was Rump Shaker by Rex and Effect. And just recently, when I was last in Atlanta, Teddy Riley was at the station with Ryan Cameron. And I got a chance to tell him that story. Now, we had chopped it up before, but I never got a chance to tell him my first intro song was Rump Shaker.
Oh, nice. That's dope. Super.
Yeah. Y'all, look, for those of y'all that don't know, down below of our YouTube page, we got merch. Yes, we got merch. This is one of the new designs. We ain't put that on the website yet, but listen, I'm going to need for y'all to look at what we already got on there. Make sure you check out our website, KandidKissesTV.com. Come on now. Get you some merch. Get you a piece. We got some dope merch out there. Let me tell you, number one, our number one seller is Stick Lives Matter because they do. But yeah, right here. You see it? You see it scrolling down? Yeah. All that's us. Go and get you a piece. Because listen, when I tell you it's a head turner, it's definitely a conversation starter. Make sure you get you some merch. Get you a shirt, get you a cup, get you a hoodie. Get what you need to get and get part of the Kiss family. What you doing? Go and click the link. Like today. You, right there. Click the link. Dead for real, show.
Yep.
Were you nervous on the first time on stage, or because you had already been kind of doing industry stuff, it wasn't no nerves, you just went up there?
Yeah, because I was used to talking in front of people. I had actually been in a fashion show or two before. I had, like I said, I did my own little rap release album for my party where I actually performed. So I ain't never really been shy about that. I'm a middle child growing up until the baby sister was born. So I was kind of introverted in that way. But once I decided to do something, I really put my mind to it. There's nothing gonna stop me from trying it at least.
Oh no, that's right. Sure. Now you've been in this game for a minute. I know you done had a memorable moment. What is your most memorable time on stage?
That could be several things. It could be positive and negative. One of the most memorable and notable was when I had a fight on stage.
Oh, I didn't know about this.
Exactly. I know you didn't. TNT Comedy Hook, right outside Chicago, close to the Indiana border, which is near Gary, Indiana. It was a dude from Gary, right? And I was starting to come up in the ranks in the city, and I had the hottest night that Sunday night at this club TNT. And for some reason, I don't know, maybe I roasted him another time and I didn't know. But as soon as the show started, he just started walking toward the stage. I'm like, dude, what you on? So he just walked up and rushed me. So we tussled. I rolled him over. We fell through the wall and hit the drywall, put a hole in the wall. I had Goon security. They came and hog-tied him with all 4 limbs, dragged him out the club. I brushed myself off, said, there, my little chant, and continued with the show. So that was really very memorable. One of the most notable times, there's several, but mainly are triggered by the Kings of Comedy tour. The fact that I got a chance to come home to the United Center and perform in front of my hometown with the Kings at the house Michael Jordan built, me and Bernie both being on the show. So that was awesome. The fact that tour hit major arenas, like, we went to State Farm, which was, I don't know what it was called back then. It was Phillips. It used to be Phillips Arena in Atlanta. I went to State Farm, we went to Madison Square Garden, we went to the Forum in LA. So those things all culminated in, being a big thing. But fast forward, at that time, I was the opening act for the show. Okay. Fast forward, New Year's Eve, 2023, going into 24, me, DL, Sid, Earthquake, Bruce, and DC Curry came back to the United Center. And now I'm one of the guys. I'm not the opening act. So that was a full circle moment in my hometown back in the United Center. So that was dope as well.
That is dope. But no, let me ask you this, because considering that I don't know how much longer that you've been in the game versus the rest of the fellas that was on the Kings of Comedy, but how come it wasn't like, why did you not get upgraded to the on the show instead of just the opener?
Back then, yeah. Those guys, they already had sitcoms and TV shows at that time, movies. Bernie was in all the movies he had been in already. Steve and Sid were on the Steve Harvey first television series he had, where they, with him and Terry J. Vaughn and the squad. So they famous. They was out there, and then DL had just got the Hughleys. So they were all network, household names, and I was still coming up in the ranks. Now, mind you, I had been on several seasons of Comic View. I'd already done. Right after the tour, I hosted Showtime at the Apollo after Steve for a few episodes. So I was on my way up, but I wasn't one of the guys yet.
Got you. Okay, so I know how that's Hollywood.
Then I was at the level, but I had a level of expertise and professionalism that I feel to roll, because what they wanted to do was have a local comedian in each market just open the show. Because what happened, the tour had been revamped. The initial Kings of Comedy tour was Guy Torrey was the host. Then it was Sid, Bernie, Steve closing, but they was putting too much heat on them, so they swapped it and put Steve in the host position. Okay. And then Steve didn't want to, and added D.L. Hughley, but Steve didn't want to go first and be out there to a cold house, so they was going to get an opener. Once they established that they needed somebody consistent, and I fit the bill and I wore the suits and everything like them, I got the gig for the whole tour.
Well, that's dope. It's a blessing either way, but how
it was like 20,000 people a night, 20, 30,000 people. And we did, 30 shows. Yeah. And at the lowest point, it might've been, 5 or 10,000 in the smaller markets. But I estimate I performed during that tour for over 300,000 people in person.
Oh yeah. That's amazing. Either way you slice it, it's still a blessing.
Hell yeah.
So we move it on. Okay. So everybody got the bomb question. So you ever bomb so bad you start questioning your whole set mid set?
I had a situation where I was inappropriate for the crowd. It was like an after party mixer for a medical convention at the House of Blues, Chicago. And I'm thinking, and Aretha Franklin was the headliner. So I'm thinking I'm just doing an Aretha Franklin shows. So I'm coming from the perspective of my mom and them being there, and I was going to talk about, you knew if they was getting along, depending on which Aretha song was on and whether she was cooking or not. And I was going to have all these down home stories. And I got in there, it was a bunch of foreigners and, really upscale, risque white people, not even risque, but just, you know what I'm saying, just a bunch of bouginess. It was above my pay grade at the time. So halfway through my set, which I started trying to do crowd work, and then that didn't work because it was like wasn't relatable. I just started talking about family and marriage and relationships, and that became a universal topic. So I won the room back. Now, mind you, the House of Blues Chicago has no seats, so it's a dance hall, so they already standing. They're not expecting to see me. And since they were standing, they made it like a networker. They just started sitting around talking to each other. So I had to really capture their attention and because they didn't know who I was and they weren't expecting me. That was early in my career. And that was the closest I've come to bombing. I didn't get booed though, but I didn't get the reaction I wanted until I changed my whole script.
Yeah, but how did you know when? Because I know people will sit there and be like, "Oh shoot, what to do?" How did you know to pivot there?
Because they weren't laughing, and survival is, hey man, do something different. So I was like,
I know that. Meaning, like, how did you know what topic to pivot into? Not necessarily knowing how to pivot, just what.
Because, like I said, I delved into the crowd work. So then I was like, how many married people in the house? When they responded with the marriage, I'm like, okay, man. Speaking of marriage, and I went into a thing. It led me there. It was the Lord. So that led me into a whole set that I wasn't even thinking about doing because I didn't know if I had time to get to that from what I had prepared. So once I did that, and I had a whole set, which was part of my set from the opening with the Kings of Comedy about, I had a joke about I'm married, but I miss being single. I miss it so much. Every once in a while, I pop in my wedding video just to see the part in the beginning where I was single. And then sometimes I'll rewind the tape just to see her moonwalk back down the aisle. And that was one of my bits. And I just saw that because I just found it's a guy in Atlanta, Chet Brewster, who was head of production and video and audio for the Kings tour, gave me some copies of my sets. And I completely forgot about that whole joke. So it goes into that. It goes into how you go from being single to married and how a man's face is shocked because he didn't know it. It started out, she left one pair of shoes under the bed. Before you know it, she got the truck coming over. So it was a whole set that just saved me.
I know that's right. You got to be quick on your feet. True.
Man, you still want to earn that check. I ain't never missed the money.
I know that's right. Now, what separates somebody that's just funny from somebody that can headline for years?
Consistency, professionality. You really got to be about the business of this business. Funny is funny, but you got to realize how to put a set together, how to relate and read the room, as I just stated, what just happened. And you have to be reliable. People have to know that when you show up, you're going to do what you're supposed to do. They can count on you getting the laughs. They can count on you being on time. They can count on you doing the press. Being a headliner, you're the entrepreneur in this thing, and you're like a one-man, team. So it's more to it than just the jokes. And see, now a lot of people are being thrust into the closing position and calling themselves headliners because they sell tickets. But that don't mean that they are equipped to entertain people for a solid hour, and then the young comics coming up are seeing the crowd work and thinking that's, the thing to do when it's really, we used to look at it as a crutch. It was something you did when your material wasn't working or if you had a heckler. Now it's crowd driven first, and then they'll throw a little couple jokes in with that. And after a while, even if you do it well, nobody wants to be questioned about, how long y'all been together. You got a man, and let me see your phone and where he at right now. And it's just a lot of tactics that people are using, which is good because it's a good skill to have if you master it, because it shows your ability to be spontaneous, because people know you didn't write that. It's organic. So that's why people are gravitating toward it, because if you post in clips, if you post your set, you can only post it once, as far as people seeing the joke, and then there's a surprise element that's gone from it. But if you're doing crowd work, that's an individual moment that's unique. And that's the stuff I post too. Usually when somebody is saying something that makes me respond to them in the audience, I post that more so than just straight bits.
Well, speaking of that, so what do you think about the people that post? Because I as a newbie in the game, when people are trying to book you, they be like, well, I don't see any of your clips online. I'm like, I can send you some clips, but no, I don't put my stuff online because the jokes that I do have, I want to keep. Because that joke that's stealing is a real thing.
Yeah. And so it's a catch-22 with that, because until you have the following, you have to show the people the funny in order for them to come and see you. So, and a lot of times, and I was like that too. We were taught not to even let people record back in the day. You couldn't even record. They wouldn't even let you take pictures and show. No flash photography, no video recording, because you do have to recycle that material. However, in this day and age, the only way that you really succeed now with the bookers, the club owners, and the studios is if they see your numbers. And the best way to get the numbers is show people you're funny. But your funny can come in different ways. You know, that's what skits are for. That's what crowd work is for. But you can also, you know, you can, if you got a couple classic bits, you know, put one or two of them up and just rotate it. You know, you can bring it back because different people are coming to your page. You ain't got to give up your whole 30 minutes. But show them, you know, show them an example of what they're coming to see. Now, here's the catch-22 about it. Some people like to go online and research the comedian if they never heard of them. Then they go on and watch and they think you're funny. So they come out, they buy the ticket. But then at the end of the show, they're like, you were funny, even though I knew all your jokes. Well, why the hell would you watch all my jokes if you had never seen the jokes, if you coming to see my damn jokes? I mean, it's not like going to see, you know, Gucci Mane, you know what I'm saying? You know his song because you know him by heart. So it ain't going to spoil a surprise. But if you watch a comedian, you know, that's going to throw off the thing. So, and then there's this. It's people that love what you do. They saw what you do. They might even come see you do it. Then they come back to see you again to do what you did, but they bring somebody so they can show them, right? Mm-hmm. And then they'll ask you, well, why you ain't do the joke you did last time? And you like, because y'all saw it before. So it's, you know, you got to find a happy medium with that. But most importantly, 9 times out of 10, you plan to the majority. And it's going to be way more people that didn't watch your clips, way more people that didn't come see you before, and that's who you should gauge, who you direct your material toward. Plus, traveling this country, you can never reach as many people as these phones can. So you want to exponentially expand your fan base through social media.
So let me ask you this. Would you suggest getting the numbers up first before you post?
How you going to do that?
Well, like you said, skits and different engagement.
Yeah, but you know that, I mean, still, yes. If you have a methodology and a skill set that is getting that algorithm on your side, yes. But even as you draw on the numbers, you still need to let them know you're a comedian. I'll give you an example. Cat Williams. I brought Cat Williams to the Star Plaza Theater where I used to do my New Year's Eve shows. And he did my show. It was right after the Friday movie, right after Money Mike was launched. But he had been doing stand-up forever. Theater held 3,000 seats. We sold maybe 2,000 just off the love of the movie, right?
Okay.
That year, he did the BET. They had one year, they had a BET Comedy Awards hosted by Steve Harvey. Cat went on there, did his set, Pimp Down, blah, 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 blah. Now people know he's a comedian. 6 months later, he came right back in this same market and sold 9,000 tickets. But see, that so people knew who he was, but they didn't know what he did until they saw him do it. So that is the difference. Yeah.
Yeah.
And see, that was before social media, so he had to be seen in, you know, on the BET joint. And so, but it was a world of difference. People knew who Money Mike was when he sold 2,000 tickets, but the next year he sold 9,000 because they saw him do stand up as, you know, that guy.
Oh yeah. I think the only fear factor is like when you're younger in the game is because you know for a fact that people that if somebody likes your work, your work might be in New York and you in Atlanta.
Can't police the game. It's gonna happen.
Oh, that joke, like, no, I wrote that. They happened to see me when I was in Atlanta, and
yeah, but if you posted it already, it's a timestamp on it, and now that vindicates the fact or indicates the fact that you were the original person to do it, for one, because you can look at your comments went back 82 weeks, and this dude just not doing your shit. But here's the thing: you can't sweat that because you should always, as a young comic, be constantly evolving with new material every chance you get. You can't get complacent. Now you get your set. Now here's what I was taught. You get you a 5-minute set. This for a novice just starting out. You perfect that 5-minute set and then you add to that. Because when you get a guest spot, they're only gonna give you 5 to 7. Even if you get a late night talk show or a TV hit, it's gonna be 5 to 7 minutes. So once you get that 5 to 7 flawless, then you start to add material. Now, in the meantime, I'm not saying not to, but you need to work that out. Now, once you get that, you go from 5, you want to get to 15. Once you get to 15, you're a good opener / host. Once you get to 30, you're a feature. Now, when you get that 30 set, right? Run that 30 for like a year, all wherever you go, the whole country. Then you start adding to that because eventually, if you're doing well enough, they're going to bring you back So you don't want to come back with the same 30. But your thirst and your goal as a young comic is material. Material is content. Content is our currency. So you need to be expanding every time you go up, you should have at least one bit, something new, because something happen every day funny. Or something you sitting on, something you've been. I'm not just saying you, I'm just saying people in general that's watching this. Something happened on your way to the club. Something happened on your way to the town that you're in. Something happens in that town that you can ask people. If you come to the city, Google top stories Atlanta, top crazy things in Atlanta. Boom. Then now you got something to break the ice with the people. It localizes it for you and them, and it gives you a new set. And you can change that and take it from city to city. So it's all type of little tools and tricks of the trade to expand your material. So you can't worry about policing material that you already did, because Richard Pryor said once you tell a joke, it's no longer yours. Now what he meant by that is other people gonna tell it because they enjoyed it. But in this business, if a professional is using your stuff, then of course that's a problem.
Yeah.
Kandid Kisses TV is brought to you by Kissable Lips Cosmetics. You can't be kissed without kissable lips. Shop KissableLipsCosmetics.com today for all your beauty needs.
Well, speaking of, the one of the legends, who was your mentor, or did you have a mentor in the way?
Yeah, two. My main mentor actually was my cousin, George Wilborn. Once I met him, we were inseparable, because he was in the game and he was that man. He had already done Def Comedy Jam. He was hosting All Jokes Aside, which was the #1 Black and maybe #1 comedy club, period, in the country. And he was giving me all the little nuggets, and he was introducing me. That's how I got on the Kings tour, because I knew all of the guys that came through, because I was there at the club all the time. Then I eventually took over for Adele. So once she left, I got the spot. It was on and popping from there. But George Wilborn walked me through the game. But Bernie also gave me a lot of great advice. Bernie Mac, Kenny Howells, another guy here in Chicago that was one of the big homies, and Tony Schofield. So locally, that was them. Then Michael Collier, who was from Chicago, he gave us a lot of game, and he managed me for a little while, like maybe for 6 months in my career. Sinbad's brother, Mark Atkins, and Sinbad used to look out for us because they shot a TV series in Chicago called Comic Justice at All Jokes Aside. So I had a lot of influences. Rodney Winfield, who's an old head, you can look him up. He was in the movie Talking Dirty After Dark with Martin Lawrence, but he was from St. Louis. But he was a veteran who had a deal with CBS way back in the late 60s, early 70s, but he kind of blew it because he did a bogus joke about Jewish people. So that was that. But he still had good advice. He just didn't listen to him when it came to talking about the peoples.
I heard of him through other OGs. That's about the third time I heard his name this week. Rodney Wilson. Yeah. Bruce was just talking about him today.
Yeah, Rodney was a man, and Rodney he had this style about it. He used to wear a sailor's hat and an ascot. He's like the type of dude. He was real lofty. Like he said, I often talk to myself because I like talking to a better class of people. He'd say something, and before I go, I just like to say, I'm still not leaving. He had these nice little moves. He said, if there are any drug dealers in the house, meet me at all the exits. he was just a funny dude. He said, if it's any police in here undercover, he said, follow me for the rest of the weekend, you'll make lieutenant. So he was he had a certain swag about him, man. Rodney was a cold dude. St. Louis on.
That's what's up. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. So speaking of, mentors, name some of your favorite female comedians. We always hear about the men, but I don't really hear too much people, I'm not going to say they don't give women props, but you don't hear them in the top 5.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's a lot of them. And I'm an advocate for ladies in comedy. As you know, when you hit me, boom, I try to look out for women because I know what you all go through. That being said, one of the ones I feel is the most consistent and most driven comedian and on the ladies is Samore. Samore is my favorite because she produces her own tours, and each time I see her, she got 20 new minutes. And I mean, she tours a lot. So Samore, Wanda Sykes is a favorite of mine. There's a woman here. They're not all gonna be black either. There's a white woman here. Her name is Kristen Toomey. She's funny to me. But of course, we got Just Niche, Cousin Tierra, Fab Monroe, Corey Bell in Chicago, Diane Corder, Cherie Luckett, just in Chicago, Adele Givens, you know, all the queens of comedy, Laura Hayes, you know, Monique, they all, you know, I got love for the ladies in the game, but there's others like Chocolate, who goes, Shanita Morris, you know, she was with the clean comedy back in the day. Let me think about it. It's some more. I even was cool with Wanda in Atlanta. You know, Wanda used to do a thing. Why am I not remembering her last name?
Smith.
Yeah, Wanda Smith. Yeah, Wanda Smith, my people, you know, because I know a lot of people had clashes with her or whatever, but she always treated me with utmost respect and always gave me, you know, hooked up on radio. And God forbid, or God rest in peace, that, you know, she left us and I couldn't think of her last name at the moment. But, you know, the list goes on. So then there's people like, before she became, you know, the queen of mean, Ellen DeGeneres was always clever to me. I would laugh at Ellen, you know, so it's a lot of them out there. And there's some more now that are, you know, current, that are in the mainstream. The one white girl that's on the Funny AF, I can't think of her name.
The one that was in the finals, or
the one that made it to the final. Yeah, she was funny.
Yeah, you know what? She reminds me a lot. That I understand why her mentor was Chelsea Handler, because she does remind you of that type of energy.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a lot of them, you know. Mm-hmm. I'm definitely the babies. And if it's any of my sister girlfriends, let me see, Chastity Washington, Kelly Kales, that I forgot, because I hate doing lists, you know, because people always like, well, they be sitting there waiting on it too, waiting on you to say them. And I love them all, you know, and there's plenty more out there. Ray Diva's a funny girl, and I don't mean girl, I mean woman. It's so many, to be honest. And women are really in the forefront of the game right now as far as on the rise. I'm seeing a lot of women doing big things that's popping off. And, you know, look out for the women in comedy right now. Shit, Michelle.
I wonder if you was going to say my favorite.
Who's your favorite?
Dominique.
Can't forget Dominique. See, that's the thing. And Dominique and I, we work together often. Matter of fact, we'll be in Martha's Vineyard this August. Matter of fact, Daphne Springs is coming up too. She's behind me. Behind me is running on Tubi. I have a series called Laugh Tonight with Damon Williams, where I do a sit-down interview with the comedians, and then they go and do their set. And it's 8 episodes. We filmed it in 2020. And so it just made it to Tubi because it was on a little known Black streaming platform called Urban Flix. So that's why I'm running that behind us. Want people to check it out too, because it's pretty dope.
So when you gonna do another one?
Well, it's the story behind that. The guy who put the money up for this show is a fugitive from the authorities right now.
All right, yeah.
He is literally on the lam.
The mic back and let's get it cracking again.
Exactly. So, you know, I don't think he's gonna be able to do another one. So I'm gonna have to come up with another way to do it. But what I have been doing is like a rendition of it live at Riddles in Chicago once a month, just to get the feet wet back into doing it. Because I used to book and curate Riddles every week, but now I just do it on spot dates. But it's the same concept. You know, we sit down and interview the comedians after their set, and it's a beautiful thing. So yeah, unfortunately, my man is on the lam. So that actual show right there is season 1 and done.
That's all right. It's gonna happen again. This time it's gonna be bigger and better.
Amen. And this one is out forever. Laugh Tonight with Damon Williams. Go check it out.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay. All right. So we're gonna move into your favorite entrepreneur. So name one of your favorite entrepreneurs and why.
My favorite entrepreneur. There's that's a tricky question. Let me think about who I know locally. I don't have a favorite entrepreneur off the top of my head. It's gonna come to me. Yeah, get back to me on that one because I want to give a good answer on that.
Okay, then ain't gotta be nobody famous. Just somebody that's doing their thing, you know.
All right, I'll go with this. The owner of All Jokes Aside was Raymond Lambert, and he, along with Mary Lindsay and a brother named James Alexander, they changed my life by having that club. So I'll give the nod to them. I was trying to go on a bigger scale, but they were more beneficial to me personally and a lot of people. They changed lives in Chicago and a lot of people from across the country because of All Jokes Aside. So Mary, Raymond, and James. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now we're going to get into your music taste a little bit. Who is your favorite singer and rapper?
My favorite rapper was always Biggie. You know, I'm liking now, you know, J. Cole has a unique I like his stuff. There's a brother out named Akeem Ali or something like that. He's real clever. And then a young brother named Simba as well. Those two, they get my ear. But Lupe Fiasco here in Chicago, Common, Kanye, Twista, that whole Do or Die, Crucial Conflict, all my Chicago rappers. And then Jay-Z is a monster to me. People hate on Jay-Z now, but if you listen to some of his mannerism, his wordplay, he's one of the coldest of all time. Going back, you got Rakim, the God, Big Daddy Kane. Not only is one of my favorites, but he's also a friend of mine. Dougie did his thing in the day. So, but my musical taste, if I'm listening right now, I'll pop in, Biggie. I still listen to Biggie. I still listen to Pop. I'm old head. I'm trying to catch on with some of the youngins, but it's the subject matter. I try to be abreast of it. And it's a lot of cold ones out here that, people might not be aware of. Like my son, Damon A. Williams, is a real MC, got a whole album out. His thing is, and he's on an eclectic level, sort of like the Lupes and early Kanye. Damon A. Williams, look up his album. It's called In Process. So I need to hear something because right now I'm real cautious about what I allow in my spirit as far as the environment, because I'm of age where every day counts. And I have no time for negativity or darkness. And it's a lot of darkness, even in Biggie stuff. Hope you're listening. Smacking babies at the christening. Why would you smack a baby at a christening? What are we doing? Don't go to the christening if you're mad at the baby, Biggie. Why would you be there? So it's a lot of, if you listen to some throwback hip hop, and we used to say, or we still say these, like I was saying at the beginning of this question, the music today is foul. Our music was much better. But, then you put on Snoop, guess who's back in the motherfucking house with a fat dick for the motherfucking mouth. So we just took the good, you know what I'm saying? Ain't no fun if the homies can't have none. That's a train.
Karaoke go too. Why you playing?
Exactly. So, it's relative, but my favorite rapper of all time is Gucci D. So what are we talking about?
Come on now, that's what I'm talking about.
I'm gonna show you something. I happen to be sitting in a place where I can do this.
Okay.
Damn, the cassette. Gucci D, Don't Bite the Dust. Look at the fading high top. Now you see why I cut my hair off.
Okay.
Bang. See that crest? That's GDI, Gucci D Records, or I forgot what it stood for.
Incorporated, maybe?
Yeah, Gucci D Incorporated or something like that. GDI Records, GDI Music. Yep. I was even registered with ASCAP and all that, man. I was serious about my thing.
Too. You know what's so funny? People have been hating on I'm gonna try to not be in the fan mode, but like when I'm going through stuff, I write. So my mom recently passed, so I started writing music again. And the quick way right now, you can write your song and then make the app do it. So I wrote like 2 albums, and it's all my lyrics or whatever, and I copyrighted, and I'm registered with ASCAP. It's been registered with ASCAP since 2003, and people all in the comments, song dope, but ain't no way you copyrighted and registered. I was like, do you want me to show you my paperwork?
Matter of fact, try to put it out, steal it if you think I ain't copyrighted. See what happened.
My paperwork came in the mail yesterday. I'm like, do I have to post it? Yes, you can copyright your lyrics. No, I'm like, when you copyright AI music now, you can't you can't copyright the actual instrumentation because of course you didn't do that, but you can absolutely copyright your lyrics.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's on all streaming platforms. Okay.
And see, I can't really release my tracks because, like you say, I own the lyrics, but we sampled the hell out of Don't Bite the Dust. I mean, Another One Bites the Dust by Queen, and they would be on the tape. But I figured by the time they hear about it, it must be popping, so I'll take that lawsuit.
I know that's right. Oh, you didn't tell me who your favorite singer was.
Oh, that's okay. So when it comes to vocals, you got to go with Luther first, right? Okay. Flat out. But it's a brother. I like Glenn Jones. He's got some cold moves. Fred Jackson in his heyday was doing his thing. Joe Stokely is my guy. He's fun. He's great. I mean, he's talented. And so those are my guys. And then when it comes to the ladies, like I said, my stuff is throwback. So really, Jill Scott. I got a lot of Jill Scott on my playlist. I even got some Anita Baker. Yeah. So I'm all over the place with that. I've worked with a lot of them too. I've worked with Patti LaBelle and Aretha Franklin and Shaka Khan and Gladys Knight and The list goes on. Angela Winbush, Kiki, not Kiki Palmer, Kiki Wyatt. Kiki Wyatt. Yeah, she could sing. She could sing her ass off. They work her. That's my girl. Shantae Moore is one of my favorites. Minnie Riperton. We going throwback. So yeah, that's the catalog. I mean, the men, Peebo Bryson, Will Downing. You know.
You know what about Kiki? Because like I knew Kiki had vocals, but I didn't really see her skill set until she got that show R&B Divas, because it showed raw talent. It didn't just show her like with a track. Like it showed like, oh no, you can blow.
She is nothing to play with.
Yeah,
she can blow and she cannot blow, because clearly she's not blowing because she's having all these kids. So she
blowing. She blowing all right.
Oh, if you blowing, the kids ain't coming out.
But she blowing the wrong instrument. That's all she did.
Yeah. If the head right, Nelly there every night. But yeah.
Well,
no disrespect, Kiki. No disrespect. That's my girl.
Right. I know she's good people. All right, we moving on. Okay. Let's see where we were. Okay. Oh, what are some words of wisdom you would give any upcoming entertainer or entrepreneur?
Partially, I've already touched upon it. Be reliable, be professional, try to be punctual. Yeah. Those three things will get you farther. And then learn the business. It should be, instead of calling it show business, it should be business show. So I advise anybody in any industry, entertainment wise, to do every aspect of it. So if you're a singer or a comedian, book yourself, get you a venue, sell the tickets, advertise. So you learn all of the aspects of it so that nobody can trick you or cheat you. If you're an music artist, create your own label, learn how to copyright your stuff, get on your masters, you know, do all of the business first and then perfect and worry about your craft, because a lot of talented people, I mean, super famous people that you know of got tricked in this game. I mean, New Edition, you know, went on a tour, had a multi-platinum albums, and came home and they each got a check for 50 cents. You know what I'm saying? Because of the recouping game. That music industry especially, go independent if you can. If you get a deal, read the fine print and get you an entertainment lawyer. I don't care what you think you know. It's tricks in them. Before you sign something, have somebody, an expert, look over it. So those things are first. But when it comes to comedians, get your own room somewhere so you can learn to host. And also you have an audience that's recurring, and they challenge you not to do the same jokes every week. So if you got you a weekly or monthly spot, you can't just stand there and do them same jokes if you got any integrity. So, you know, it'll force you. Cause I used to host like 6 nights a week in Chicago, and some people would go to all 6 nights or 3 of the 4, you know, it'd be 3 places, and they would come and I see them. In fact, this group of girls, and they were my girls. They were my biggest supporters, but they privately or secretly admitted to me later that they had a song about me because they would see me. You know, I only had so many outfits, so much clothes. They had this song, like every other show we go, we see the same clothes. And, you know, I was mixing and matching and topping and bottom and thinking I'm fooling people. But, you know, they had a song about my outfit. So one of my friends, here's the funny thing. The woman who is now my wife must have noticed as well, because she one day just dropped me off a whole bunch of like shirts, summer shirts, you know. So I can
get you outfit if you want to talk about it, the issue.
Yeah, so it was all, you know, that was a thing. So, but my point of that was it challenged me and it forced me to come up with new stuff. So what I would do back then would get the newspaper every day and try to find stories in the paper. Now you could just look at the blogs and the vlogs or whatever and get your stories from social media and, you know, the shade room and all of that. But sometimes you want to report on things or talk about things that other people are not talking about. So I would delve deeper into the stories that are like 3rd, 4th, 5th page, not front page news. That led me to an opportunity, because I used to do that when it came to the Tom Joyner Morning Show. I was selected to do a set or a feature where we were talking about obscure news stories, but specifically stupid criminals. And so I found this website called clumsycrooks.com, but I had already been training my brain to talk about current events that way. And current events will help you expand your material. Some of them don't have a shelf life. You know, you'll talk about it for 3 to 6 months or whatever, then you might have to retire, or you can always reiterate it. Like, y'all remember back, like I got about 20 or 30 minutes on COVID or COVID era jokes, but I don't do them no more because I feel like they're dated. But if,
Right.
if somebody or something were to, spawn me to talk about COVID, it's in my bag. I still got it.
Yeah.
So, current events have something, newsworthy that everybody can relate to, and that helps you as well. Then you take personal stories, like I have a boat, right? I'm a boat owner, and the boats just all came out of storage in April. But by them sitting where they were, a pair of geese had laid an egg and left it on top of my boat.
Oh.
Now, these geese are very protective of their offspring. So the mechanic was like, be careful. It's a goose. It's a geese over there. And I'm like, I don't care about no damn goose. I go to look at the egg. Man, that mother came up rah, rah, and attacked me, knocked me down. I'm telling you, knocked me down. I got scarred. This scar right here.
Oh.
It's a scar right there. The scar right there from me falling, from it knocking me down. My bag fell in the water. Everybody on the dock is cracking up. Let me tell you something. A goose ain't nothing to play with. Now you know why when they play duck, duck, goose, they run when they get the goose. I don't play no thing. I just posted about this. Look on my IG. If I didn't put it up today, it'd be up by tomorrow. My goose story, because that just happened.
Dang.
And that's something to talk about. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's a hit, boy. I wouldn't be. My mom used to be scared of birds. I thought, man, she be done broke her neck trying to.
Hey man,
pump.
From a pigeon. So imagine a big ass goose. It looked like a dragon when his wings spread up.
Oh yeah. Hey. From the goose.
Plus, I don't like hurting nature. I don't even kill bugs and spiders and nothing. My wife gets frustrated with me because I'll take one and take it out the house or whatever. She's like, just kill it. I'm like, no, you never know how you're gonna get in. I've done some work. The Lord might be like, yeah, you might have was in the shootout, but you also saved that spider and he might let me on in. You see what I'm saying?
That spider was trespassing. So he had to go. Like, I'm sorry. He got to
I put him outside.
Man, oh, that's nasty. You don't mind like feeling it on your hands?
No, I'll take a cup and put a cardboard on there and carry the cup out. I do that all the time. Slide it on the thing, put the thing over it, boop, put it outside.
I had an ex like that. He was just always, ooh, look, it's a frog. I remember we came to the house. He was like, look, he opened the door. I said, you got a live frog in the house. You don't take that dang old frog out the house. He was like, you don't think it's cute? Get out of my house with that frog, bro.
Yeah, I don't want no pests in my house. Now, here's the story. My wife had some mice in her car, and she was like, it was a mouse. She saw it in the garage, I should say, and one of them got in the car. And when she saw that mouse was in her trunk, she put some sticky boards back there.
Okay.
Now, mind you, if I'm gonna do a mouse trap, first of all, I don't want to kill a mouse, but if I had to, I want it to be instant. That little snap, they're gone. Mm-hmm. I don't want to come and see them stuck on the board. So now she gonna like, I got them, come get them. Now I got to come out. The mice, they still alive. And they looking at me with their little eyes like, come on, dog, don't let this be it for me, And then one of them was halfway on and halfway off, and it was like he was still trying to get away, right? His leg was stuck. So imagine doing this until your life ends. Because I just took the board and threw it in the garbage, but I felt bad, so I prayed about it.
Oh God! Did you ever see the movie Shark Tale?
No.
Oh, you had to watch it. It's the Shark Tale, that cartoon that Will Smith was the he did the voice of the main character. But
yeah, I'm familiar.
There's a part of the movie where all the sharks are together and they get ready to eat shrimp, and the shrimp are live shrimp, and the one shrimp is begging his for life. He was like, no eat, please. I got a family, I got kids. It's so funny to me. But that's what it reminded me of, because now, like, I like shrimp. I cannot eat shrimp with eyes, or you know what I'm saying? It got to be whatever. Because if I see a shrimp with eyes, I just think about Shark Tale. I'm like, no eat.
Yeah, that's why I don't like going to places where they had a lobster in the thing, in the tank. Now you gonna visit your food before you eat it? No.
Right, exactly.
But I'm not a vegetarian or a vegan. I mean, I need my food to be dead already when I get to the building.
That's right. Just like, now I don't want to see the chicken, but I'll fucking chicken up though.
Hey man, do you know how many chickens each individual is responsible for killing in life? Between eggs and chickens. Yeah. Every time you get a 6-piece wings, that's 3 chickens. You had 2 eggs for breakfast. That's 2 chickens. You got 5 chickens a day. You killing.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's a lot of chickens.
That's I don't know where to get all these chickens.
I think Cedric the Entertainer had that joke. He said that's why chickens walk the way they walk. They be looking for niggas.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I know that's right.
Now we know why the chicken crossed the road, because it was a nigga with some gravy waiting on him.
And some hot sauce. All right, we moving on to our fun segments. Our first one is kiss or diss. This is just celebrity crushes. We decide who you kiss and who you diss, and we know you married, so it's hypothetical. So,
Yeah.
first one, Lisa Ray or Carrie Hilson. Who you kissing? Who you dissing?
I gotta kiss Lisa because she's from the crib and I know her, and I gotta diss Carrie because she's the other person.
Okay. Moving on.
But I mean, in reality, that's a toss-up.
Oh yeah, they're both gorgeous.
Oh yeah. Can we do a kiss or mix?
So we're gonna have an entanglement.
Yes, indeed. Trey piece.
Do as you will.
Let's put me in the middle and let them figure it out.
All right, we're moving on to Sierra or Kelly Rowland. Who you kissing? Who you dissing?
Once again, I got to go with Kelly because I know her and I don't know Sierra. Plus, yeah, Sierra, she been through enough. She don't need this. She don't need this voodoo on her spirit.
I feel like she don't want. She done been through a lot, but she don't want. No, she don't
Yeah,
want.
she. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to disrupt her peace.
All right. Last one. Okay, we're gonna do TV themes. Harriet Winslow or Weezy Jefferson. Who you kissing? Who you dissing?
That's funny. I met Harriet Winslow, but Weezy, it was something about Weezy because they always used to. She had them good old Playtex bras back in the day that had them things. She'd be like, "Oh George, oh George." So I'm going with Weezy just to see them things.
Not you went with the Playtex, bro.
Yeah, you remember this Playtex, with the big strap and the 17 buttons. Yeah, Weezy had the thing, and her pressing curl was always immaculate.
Oh yeah, she had that hair laid now.
Yeah.
She came all the way.
Now, mind you, those are two people I never would imagine. Nothing to. But if I had to pick, I'm gonna go with Weezy. I'm just glad you didn't ask me about Florida.
Nah, I was because I did that to Bruce. I think I gave him Bruce or Neil Carter.
See, Florida or Neil? Yeah. And that was just bad casting to have Thelma as James and Florida's daughter. Ain't no damn way Florida and James made a Thelma. And people don't know trivia. Florida Evans in real life is 19 years older than John Amos, who played James. They were 19 years apart. But see, back then, a black man was downtrodden. In your 30s, you look 50. You look like he kept getting laid off. The stress was killing him.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine being laid off and you stuck at home with Florida.
Man,
be honest, though, she was actually a beautiful woman. If you ever saw her, like when she would put her stuff together, man, Florida was a beautiful black sister, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody got their own opinion, so hey. We moving on to D.A.Q. That stands for dumbass question. It is a random fun question I'm going to answer to. All right. What was the worst job you ever had?
I've only had two. To be honest, the worst job I would say I was doing deliveries for a stationery store. Okay. But it was only bad because, the pay wasn't great, but it was still good, during the summer. But I live in Chicago. So in the winter, it was walking deliveries, and I used to have a little 2-wheel trolley walking from office to office from the place. So that was the worst job. But the other job I really had was I worked at City Hall, and I was in the office doing clerical work and inputting. We were switching over. We were modernizing the system to go from paperwork to digitizing. So they had us all with terminals entering people's all the vendors, especially minority vendors, we entered their information so they could do business with the city. I did that for 5 years, and then I so-called retired. I went and grabbed my little pension money, and I opened a Subway sandwich shop. I had that for 2 years, and then I started doing comedy.
Nice. Now Subway is one of the ain't that like the #1 franchise right now?
They have the most locations worldwide. And that was the theme. That was their goal when I got in. I got in 1990, and so they were not even in Illinois or in the Midwest. I was one of the first Midwest franchisees. I was the youngest at 25, and I was the only black one at the time. Now, I accomplished that all because Gucci D had some money saved.
Okay.
That being said, but it didn't work out. But that is where I discovered Adele Givens was doing the open mic, because I heard some guys that used to come in my subway and they were talking about going to All Jokes Aside, and that's how I found all comedy. So that led me to the next level. And my son was born because of that place, because his mother worked across the street from my subway. So a lot of things came in good from me being there, except for money. But it did allow me to have an entrepreneurial adventure where I literally went from researching franchises in Black Enterprise magazine to securing the license to do it, to finding a location, to meeting with architects for the blueprint, to getting all the licensing and permits, to running that business. I love doing all of the implementation of it, but then I ended up having to be there. I thought I was just going to open up and be out on my boat and come collect my money once a day. Oh, no. I was in baking bread and cutting tomatoes, and I was working fast food. I'm like, this is not the life for me. So I got up out of there.
Listen, I've been in business for myself for 21 years. It is very hard, especially I had a staff, and then they're good for the first 3 months because thank you for the opportunity, and then they start getting money. And you be
especially I had friends and relatives. I only interviewed and hired 2 strangers. The rest were my 2 first cousins, my 2 brothers, and these guys we grew up with. And any one of my cats that was coming home that needed a check stub, as far as for a job to get work release, I would give them they work release jobs too.
So did you end up just selling it?
Yeah, I sold it, but I sold it at a disadvantage. I really could have sued them, because what they were supposed to do is come in and assist me in making my store thrive. But what they did is convince me to get out of it, and they disclosed my financials to the purchaser, which made them know how to lowball me for the sale of the business. So they basically bought my debt. But the cool part of it was the whole time I paid myself a hefty salary, and it was legit money. So it transitioned me from the streets as well. So it served all its purposes. It found my wife at the time. It created my son, and it introduced me to the people that got me in comedy. So it served its purpose.
Oh yeah, and it learned you how to look out for snakes.
Yeah, and it gave me an exit out the game. So all good. And Subway wasn't even popular here, and it didn't catch on for a while here because of their formula with their sandwiches, with that little thin ass slab of meat. Here we got big, corned beef sandwiches, fat as your face, and I couldn't compete with that anyway. So it was going to be a lost cause. My particular location was in a food court, and it wasn't just me, because it sold to 2 other owners after me. So I don't consider that my lack of success. I just feel like it was a bad scenario, because it was downtown Chicago, which was really impressive at the time. And here's the thing about that. People, when you have a business, be hands-on, because I would do my own deliveries. And one time I was taking this big 6-foot party sub, and I had to double park out front so I could get it up there in time. And this white guy that was the doorman security, so, hey, you can't park there. I'm like, man, I'm going to be 5 minutes. I'll be right back. I ignored him, shot up there. I get back to my store. I get a call. They asking for the owner. I said, this is the owner speaking. He said, yeah, your delivery guy was really rude, and he cussed me out and blah, blah, blah. I said, really, what exactly did he say? And he made up all these lies trying to get me fired, because he would never suspect that the 25-year-old was the owner.
Exactly.
I said, he said all that. I said, sir, that was me, and you're lying. And he just hung up.
You ain't getting none out of this, sir.
So always give your employees the benefit of the doubt, or at least ask more questions.
Oh, absolutely. I was always hands-on when I had staff, whatever. I only had, out of all the people that I've ever hired, I've only had to legit fire one, because everybody else, you fire. I don't fire people. You fire yourself by not doing what you're supposed to do.
Indeed.
But I had one particular young girl that she was from New York, so it wasn't that she was a horrible person. Her approach was so rough because of where she comes. We in the South. You can't come. Right. Hey, you get your brows done. No. Right. Well to that. If you can't fix your tone, you ain't gonna be able to work here, baby.
Yeah. And so that reminds me of what people tried to, when they came to the defense of Just Hilarious. They was like, well, she from Baltimore. That's just how they talk. Yeah, but you still trying to shit on my name, though. Talk about somebody else when you're gonna talk like that. But they she probably ain't mean nothing about it. The girls there are hard. So I get that East Coast situation. And I gave her all grace. That whole situation also was beneficial for me. I had a lack of following on TikTok in particular, and it kind of tripled my TikTok followers. So somebody else say they don't know no damn Damon Williams, please.
That's right. Let me tell you something. Anything that I've been blessed with, it's always came from a hater first. Every time, like, I don't. And then I remember when I started in the makeup game. I started in the makeup game, and there was a particular makeup artist that was this. Oh yeah, well you don't need to go with her. Well, and I had never met her. I met her once in life, and I was like, how am I getting all these people during the week? And it was like, oh well, you do a good job no matter what such and such say. I was like, well, who was that? She was like, oh, that's the girl that's on the weekend. And what happened was I realized she was mad and hating on me is because the reason they hired me during the week because there was so many people on the weekend. They said we need another makeup artist to pull get the rest of these people during the week. And so so she started seeing her numbers decline because now people are coming during the week because they don't want to wait in that long line on Saturday. So naturally, if people just saying, "Oh, she's helping me," she's like, "Oh, nah, she messing up my money." And I'm like, "I just came to do my job, ma'am. I ain't got nothing to do with your money."
And now that you brought up the makeup, weren't you with Wanda and you had that lipstick that was
Yeah, I was a makeup artist for several years. Mm-hmm.
That's right. That's where we first met. Yeah.
Yeah, sure was.
Yeah, and I love Wanda, just so you know what I'm saying? I couldn't think of her last name because I'm old. But yeah, I kept hearing Sykes in my brain. I kept thinking Wanda Sykes.
And they would always compare the names because they both got WS, and everybody was like, no, not that one, this one.
Try being Damon Williams when there's a Damon Wayans. Try that.
That part. That part.
I always
no.
Yeah, I have to tell people that man spelled his name with a few more zeros at the moment.
Hello, come on now. Now you know what? That would be a good tour though. Like two Damons.
Yeah, we had a little clash on this early in my career, but we've since, of course, bonded on everything. He actually hosted my episode of Premium Blend, which was on Comedy Central, and we've chatted. In fact, during the Just Hilarious situation, he sent me a DM, quietly about, man, I'm worried about that mess. People gonna always this, that, and the other, So it was perfect for me. The comedians, jumped on board and started hashtag. Now I have merch. Say, I know Damon Williams. I got shirts. I got little glasses I sell. It's a beautiful thing. But I have yet to be on the Breakfast Club, and I've been reaching out to them, and they seem not to want to bring me on there. And I think I have a lot of fascinating stories I could tell there, not just about that.
Absolutely. I mean, everybody got their little controversy. I'm surprised they ain't had you on yet, though, just because, clickbait.
Yeah, because it was right there. And I even tried to reach out to her and say, let's go out on a quick little mini tour and capitalize on it because there was so much heat on it. I mean, it was ridiculous for about 2 weeks. She could have done the I Know Damon Now tour.
Exactly. Like, for real.
She hosts our headline. It's still in the air if anybody out there want to let her know that we can make some bread. Bygones be bygones.
I'm trying to tell you, shoot, let's get the bag and then everything else don't matter.
Man.
Moving on. If you could create a lame superhero, what would their name be and what would be their lame superpower?
Lame as in a no good superhero?
Mm-hmm.
I would have a lame superhero that had X-ray vision, but only good enough to see bills in the mail, like to see through envelopes. That's the only strength of his vision. You call him Mr. Bill. Hey, man, who the trouble? And now the people out there like, you still get paper bills in the mail? Yeah, we all do, but I'm always cognizant. Plus, that's what's lame about it is we know because we don't care until the bill changed color anyway.
Mm-hmm.
We see what's on that white paper, and now we all get that superpower. We see the pink and the red.
Yep. You're like,
think of another superpower. Yeah.
Name 3 items you would purchase to make a cashier feel uncomfortable.
That I would purchase or I have purchased?
No, that you would purchase.
A shovel, some lime, and some rope.
Okay. All right. Last one. Give me the worst name you could give a restaurant.
This shit here. Come on over and get some of this shit here.
That sounds like somebody's grandma made that one.
I ain't eating that shit. You want some of this shit here?
All right. Well, we are moving on to our next one. Oh, I can't wait. I'm excited about this. I just made this a few minutes ago. This is called GMG. It stands for What Grinds Your Gangster.
What grinds your gangster? What gets on your damn nerves? Let it be heard.
So, name your pet peeve.
When dudes sit around talking about other dudes, like gossiping or hating on people like that, that for men to do that, it bugs the hell out of me. So if any dude want to talk bad about another dude, to me, I shut him right down. Like, hey man, we men. Let's not be emotional. That bothers me.
Oh, that's
And
right.
say it to me, say it to him. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
You want to
Yeah.
square up up there.
Yeah, if you feel that way, or it's definitely don't be phony around the cat, then come talking to me about him behind his back or whatever. That bothers me. Another thing bothers me is talking on the phone. Like I talk, I'll answer, but to sit and be on the phone, endlessly, I don't know what it is, and I don't care who it is. It could be my mama sometime. When I see my, I'm like, hey, mama. Good morning, Pastor.
So let me ask you this. With that being said, how did you date? Because women love to talk.
I've been married for, I've been with my wife for 17 years.
When you met her, did y'all have to have them long conversations before you got to know each other?
In person,
That was it. So you never talked on the phone. It was always on date.
on the phone, we text and get to the point, and boom. Now, don't get me wrong, I would listen, and especially to my woman, but in general, just long drawn out, because I'm trying to do, we have a short attention span. I'm moving and shaking, and when somebody catch me at a bad time, but I still don't want to not take people's calls, and I get stuck on a phone call, especially if you ain't talking about nothing, or you're a reiterator. I hate reiterators as well. But yeah, let me get off this phone. Hey, before I let you go though, hey man, did you blah 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 blah? So now me and my man, a couple of my homies, we got this thing where we come up with all the excuses to get off the phone. Like, yeah, man, let me go shoot this layup right quick. I can get off this phone. Let me let me go change this light bulb. I can get off this phone.
Did you see that? It's a lady on Instagram that does a whole series about that. She'd be on the phone and she'd be like, girl, I got to turn around 3 times. Let me call you back.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure that's a bit, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, moving on, we're going to our fan favorite, which is opera that thing out. That's where you pick any song that you know at least one verse to, and you sing it in your best opera voice. It could be a rap song, a nursery rhyme, theme song, whatever you got.
Oh, do I have to sing it?
Yeah, your opera voice.
Oh. Love has truly been good to me. You say opera voice though?
Uh-huh.
Not even one sad day or minute have I had since you come my way.
Let me find out your opera voice is just aggressive.
How about that? Yeah, you got to opera that voice. I'm a man.
That's what I'm talking about. And last but not least, we got our game Sing-A-Doo. Now, Sing-A-Doo is a family fun music game that me and my homeboy DJ All-Star created over the quarantine. So all you're doing, you're singing a song, the melody of do's. We got hip hop, R&B, greatest hits, pop Billboard hits, country rock, TV themes, and party dances. So I'm gonna do a couple for you to get the guess. So all I'm doing, I'm singing the melody of the song and the word do's, and you have to guess what I'm singing.
I get it.
All right, we got. I'm gonna do. This is R&B. Do 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 do.
Is there any more room for me in those jeans?
Come on, that's right. That's what I'm talking about.
But
All
check
right.
this out. This one too easy. Look. Do I do what?
You ain't supposed to sing none of the lyrics. You're supposed to do the whole.
But do is in the title, so do. All right, go ahead. Give me another one.
Let's see. We got oh, I know you know this one. This is greatest hits. Do 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 do.
Get music, white boy. Let them do 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 do.
All right, last one. This is I guess hip hop. Do 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 do. Do 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 do.
Now I'm gonna give you the both versions. That's Super Freak Rick James or Can't Touch That MC Hammer.
There it is. That's what I'm talking about. All right.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna hold up the card in the camera, and you can pick a song on there, and I can see if I can guess. You're gonna have to do it.
Shit, push it closer. Where my glasses? All right, there you go. Leave it right there. Take a little higher. Oh yeah, okay, better. I'm gonna do a TV thing.
All right.
Do 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 do. Do 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 do.
All right, try one more. We out of here.
All right, bet. I'm ready, and this is a TV theme as well.
Okay.
Do 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 do.
Oh, Scooby-Doo.
Ta-da!
I knew. Well, that is how you play Sing-a-Doo. If anybody's interested, you get it at singadoo.com. Damon, it has been a pleasure. If you can tell everybody where to find you at, what your new shows got coming up, tell them what you got going on.
Damon Williams Comedy on all my socials except for Twitter X, which is just Damon William, no S on the end, but I don't really be on there anyway. DamonWilliamsComedy.com will give you links to all of my shows. Everything upcoming. The big thing coming up is in August, we're doing the Martha's Vineyard Comedy Festival. That's August 2nd through the 22nd. Other than that, my dates are perpetual. I'm always on tour. I'm always moving around. Locally, coming up soon, I got City Winery May 28th, and I'm presenting a band. It's a sibling band out of Minneapolis called None Above, Nunnabove, None Above. And they performed there for me as an opening act. So I got them booked through City Winery to be the headliner, but I'm going back to host it to help, push the sales. That's May 28th. But beyond that, show on top of show, June 5th and 6th, Riddles here in Chicago. And I'm all over the place.
All right. You heard what he said. Make sure you tap in. That has been another episode of Kandid Kisses TV. We drop every Monday, Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you up there watching it. Like, comment, subscribe, or act like your mama done raised you right. You better subscribe. And we'll see you next time.
See you next time. Watch Laugh Tonight with Damon Williams on Tubi.
That's right. Did you have a good time?
Had a great time.
All right. You better like and subscribe too.
Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. You know that song?
Cause I'm happy.
See, I had a good time.
What Sing-a-Doo?
Hey, what's Sing-a-Doo?
Hey, yo, what Sing-a-Doo?
What's Sing-a-Doo?
Hey, cuz. What's Sing-a-Doo, cuz?
Sing-a-Doo is a music game that all can play. All you have to do is sing the melody of the song on the card using only the word do.
Do. Same genre. Do.
What?
Do. 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 Do do do.
Kick off my shoes and relax my feet. Get ticket.
Do do do. Do do do.
We'll make you.
Do 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 do.
You got your family and they need you there. But I try to resist being last on your list. But no other girl's gonna do.
Order your copy today at singadoo.com.